How are we doing? We are live today on, what is it? Is it Wednesday or Thursday? Let me check. I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Sometimes that happens when you're just like in the code zone and you're just so focused. The whole week is just a blur. And so I forget the day all the time. So anyways, welcome everybody. We've got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. What's going on? Who do we have here on Instagram? We've got Ben, Jim, something. We've got Chris Schoff, Curl Phyllis, Prop Hetlema. Man, you guys probably make fun of me in the chats like, dude, this guy can't even pronounce anything. Well, it's because you have usernames that are impronounceable, if that's a word. Unpronounceable. I don't know. Max out, what's going on? M. Carmen, 9091, O'Day Shopping. Yeah, everybody, welcome. Who do we have over here on TikTok? Oh, that's right. They put it all weird in the corner and stuff. So how's YouTube doing? What's going on? Lane Space, Oxola Adam, Lane Space. I'm stuck with HTML, CSS. Can't figure it out. I feel your pain. I'll give you some feedback here, Lane, in just a moment, how you can get through that. I know what it's like. I'm a self-taught developer myself, and getting stuck sucks. So, but it's all good. There's ways through it. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jason. I'm a full stack developer here at DevSlopes. So I code a lot of cool stuff. I primarily work in the MERN stack, which is Mongo, Express, React, and Node. And then I'm also the DevSlopes Web Academy instructor, mentor, and coach. All right. So I work with students all day. I help them learn how to code. And then I help them take those skills that they've worked so hard for and put them into practice so they can make money, whether that's freelance work or getting jobs. My job's not done until my students get paid. So very important to me. It's important that you reap the benefits from all of your hard work. All right, so we're just going to start out with some questions. I get asked a bunch of stuff like, where do you start as a beginner developer? What tech stack should I be learning? Stuff like Lane's saying here, he's stuck with some code, HTML and CSS, and how to get through those. So if you have questions about that, drop them in the comments and I'm going to get to them. So we're going to hop over to YouTube. And Lane, I'm going to answer your question here. So you say that you're stuck with HTML and CSS. So one of the things when we're learning web development or any type of programming, well, actually, I'm going to keep it specific to web development. Okay. So when we're learning web development, the primary core, the most important thing you could learn is JavaScript. Okay. That's the meat and potatoes of web development. That's where the money is. And that's where the real skills are. All right. HTML and CSS are stepping stones. So I usually recommend spend 2 to 3 weeks in HTML, spend 2 to 3 weeks in CSS, and then dive straight into JavaScript. All right. HTML and CSS, like becoming very, very proficient in it, comes over time. There's so many projects that you can build that will just help solidify those skills over time. Now, before moving into JavaScript, yes, you should, have a basic working understanding of how HTML works, a basic working understanding of CSS, but by all means, you do not need to be an expert in it. Okay, you just don't. Pretty much anything with HTML and CSS, the internet is so saturated with information that you can just Google anything you're trying to do and find a copy paste answer. All right. Now that's different with JavaScript. You don't want to be copying and pasting code from online, right? Unless you know exactly how it's working. Really what you want to do is just find code examples and then tailor it to what you need your code to do, because everybody's code works differently. All right. So get through HTML, CSS so you have a basic working knowledge of it, and then dive straight into JavaScript. Don't get hung up with HTML and CSS. It's important, but JavaScript is super important. All right. That's where you need to spend all your time, efforts, and energy, is in JavaScript. All right. What's up, Khaled, Ben? Let's see. Oxalama. What does DevSlopes do? So DevSlopes is a learn to code online boot camp. All right. So what we do is we have different academies for iOS development, Android development, and web development. And so when students join our academies, we've got these different modules, like 16 different modules to get through that you're going to have final assignments for each module or the end of module final project. And then you have code reviews. I'm going to personally look at your code. I'm going to grade it. I'm going to grade your assignments. I'm going to give you feedback, make sure that you're using best practices and whatnot. I'll be your personal code mentor and teacher. So I will work with you one-on-one with whatever help you need. And then I also do all the career prep with my students. So I prepare them to get jobs. All right. So DevSlopes has a very curated, guided learning path set up to help teach you all the skills for you to actually be successful in today's job market, whether that's freelancing or working for a company. So we're not just oh, here's some code and we throw it at you and it's like, thanks for your money and I hope you make it out there. No, that's bullcrap. DevSlopes works with you personally. I work with you personally. All right. My job's not done until you make money. All right. And even until that point, you have lifetime access to the program. So if you have any questions, even when you do get a job, you can always reach out to me, whatever you need. All right. So that's the DevSlopes Academy. Go to devslopes.com/apply, and then you can check out our different academies. You can get set up with a free career coaching call, see if the DevSlopes Academy is a good fit for you. And you can ask whatever questions you have about the academy. But it's a fantastic place. I've got students already who aren't even done with the academy, who are already doing freelance work, making thousands of dollars, and even students who have landed jobs already. And they're not even finished with the academy. So it's really cool to see my students, making money. And that's part of the requirements in one of the modules is you have to prove that you've closed projects for money. Like we put you to work. It's for people who are serious about changing their lives. So again, devslopes.com/apply. Let's see, how many programming languages do you teach? So iOS Academy, we're teaching Swift. And then I think we dive into Firebase. I'm not the iOS instructor. I don't know 100%. Okay. The Android Academy, you're going to be learning Kotlin, some Java, and then I don't know what technology stack you use for the backend in that academy, but the Web Academy, what I'm in charge of is the MERN stack, Mongo, Express, React, and Node. And then on top of that, we teach you all about deployment, getting your projects live, spinning up servers, all that stuff. So it's really cool. Let's see, Chris Thomas. Hey, Jason, good to see you. Keep up the great work. Let's go. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. So you still using React Native or have you finally moved to Flutter? So I've been so busy. I haven't had time to dive into either. I've used React Native and Flutter. I've built some example projects. I've never pushed anything to production with those languages, but all my time is spent in the MERN stack, Mongo, Express, React, and Node. And I like it there. It's my happy place. But I love learning new technologies as well. Like I spend my weekends reading documentation. That's what I do. Other people chill and hang out. I spend my time in the docs. You're very welcome, Lane, for the answer. What do you think about Next.js? Next.js is awesome. All right. So the DevSlopes website, I originally built it using React. And then for SEO purposes, because React is a single page application and it sucks with SEO, Google cannot index any of your files because they're components that are rendered at runtime. Anyways, Next.js is a framework that's a static site generator. So it takes all your React components and pages, and then it compiles it into static HTML, which allows the browser to serve those pages like blazing fast. And there's a lot of other cool perks. So yeah, I redid the DevSlopes website in Next.js, and I think it's absolutely awesome. There's another static site generator. There's Gatsby, which is an awesome framework. That's what I originally started with, was Gatsby.js. And that one's amazing. All right. But I've just been working with Next.js a lot, and I've really grown to like it a ton. All right. TikTok, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. I know you TikTokers only spend like 3 minutes on a live stream. So a lot of you have already probably popped off. Alec95, do you recommend Python to start? So Alec, this is what I recommend to start with if you're a brand new programmer figuring out what to learn. So the first decision you need to make is what you want to learn as a developer. Let me back up. Let me rephrase that. The first thing you want to do as a beginner developer when you're trying to figure out what to learn is pick a learning path. Do you want to build iPhone apps? Do you want to build Android apps? Do you want to build web apps? Do you want to work on AI and machine learning? Do you want to work on embedded systems and rockets that go to Mars? All right. It depends. All of those are different programming languages. And you're asking, Alec, if you should start with Python. Python is a fantastic beginner programming language. Okay. Has a really clean syntax to it. With that said, here's a couple of things to think about. All right. So Python has a very broad general use. You can use it for web development. It's a great scripting language. It's great for running like algorithms and such. It's probably the most popular language for AI and machine learning. You can do game development with it, all that stuff. Okay. But here's just what I think personally. If I was to do web development, I would not choose Python. If I was to do game development, I would not choose Python. I'd use something like Unity 3D or something. Okay. It's got, more tools and assets available to it. All right. If I was to do machine learning or AI, absolutely, I would choose Python. So it depends on what you want to do with programming, okay, what you want to build, and that's going to determine what you should learn. Let's see. Ish Mohammed, are you a full stack developer? Yes, I am. I work in the MERN stack, Mongo Express, React, and Node. Sorry, I keep touching my other phone right here. I keep poking the screen because it keeps blacking out on Instagram. But whatever. Okay, Ben Green, let's see, just turned in. Are your classes online? Can we do it from Canada? Yeah, so Ben Green, go to devslopes.com/apply to check out the academies. It's an online boot camp and you cater it to around your schedule. All right. So if you got, a job and family and other things, like you do it in between those things. All right. There are online videos and then there's quizzes, exercises, coding challenges, and final projects with each one of the 16 modules. Okay. And the most important thing is to be consistent. When you're learning to code, you've got to put in like 2 hours every day, like at least 5 days a week. This coding crap where you put in 1 or 2 days a week, skip a week and try it next week, that's crap. You're not going to be successful with programming. You've got to put in time every single day. You're learning a brand new language, a brand new syntax, how to write that language. All right. And you're learning an entirely new way of thinking and solving problems. All right. It's a lot of learning and it takes a ton of repetition. You can't just be spotty with it. Okay. You've got to be consistent. Let's see. I just answered that question. What do you think about Express framework? It is deprecated. Express is deprecated? No, I don't believe it. I'm going to have to look that up. I use Express all the time. It's amazing. Middleware to talk to, with API code and backend. I use it in everything. Like I said, the MERN stack, Mongo, Express, React, and Node. But again, I'm just installing Express from the command line. I can't tell you the last time I've been to their website. That would be very interesting if it's deprecated because it's huge. Express is huge and it has a huge community around it too. How's Ruby on Rails? I've never used Ruby on Rails. I've never used Ruby before, ever. I have no interest in learning it either. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't use it. Let's see how to log in Google account through HTML. I'm not going to answer that. Sadly, I need to pay in DevSlopes for a course. I'm 15. Ask your parents for money and then do the course. And within a couple of years, you'll be making more money than your parents. It's very common. I'm just kidding. I don't know how much your parents make, but a US salary for a developer across, everything like mobile development, web development, and whatnot. It's very common to hit a 6-figure salary after just 3 years of on-the-job experience. And if you have been coding for 3 years at a job and you're not making 6 figures, you better start negotiating your salary with your employer, or you should look for another job because there are people who will pay you that. All right. I started Python to come into coding, but want to learn HTML next. Is that a good decision? Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're doing web development, you're going to need to know HTML, CSS, and then you can do Python with web development. I would personally, bring in JavaScript, but yeah, you can do Python. But yeah, HTML, CSS is required for web development. Python or JavaScript? I personally, for web development, because JavaScript is the scripting language for the browser, for the internet, I would do JavaScript. And there's way more. If you're looking to freelance or get a job, there is more JavaScript jobs than Python jobs. I'm not saying Python's bad or anything. It's just opportunity wise, there is more jobs available for JavaScript than Python. What languages do Google developers use? They use Golang, and I know some C++ and like 10 other languages. I don't remember them. Does React have a new functional components documentation site? So in React 16, they released hooks. So their functional components can hold state now. So like the use effect, the use callback, use ref, all that fun jazz. That was in React 16. I think they're on React 18 now. I think that just released. I'd have to look that up. But yeah, there's new stuff to functional components. Okay, Instagram, you've been waiting so patiently. Welcome, everybody. Let's see what kind of questions we have here. Holy smoke, so many people have joined. All right, where's the questions? Just scrolling through. How can I join DevSlopes, please? Semilor Bote. I said that with an accent. I don't know why. Go to devslopes.com/apply. Set up a free call, okay? And just ask any questions you want about anything, about the program, about, price, financing, payment options, everything like that. Ask questions about me. Say, dude, is Jason like legit? Like, will he really teach me how to code and make money? Like, ask him that, see what they say, and then come back and then let me know if they're talking smack. All right. Why is it hard to get a junior web developer role? Most companies even want experience for junior roles. Okay, so Brendan Jr., do not look for a junior web development position. Do not put junior developer on your resume. Leave that junior crap and just throw it in the toilet, okay? You don't want to do that. Let a company decide where you're at as a developer. Now, if they don't hire you or you fail the tech interview, whatever, that doesn't mean you're a bad developer. It just means you're not a good fit for that company is all. All right. So for an example, I'm a self-taught developer. And a while back, I worked at Dell Computers as a full stack developer. Now, on the job listing, it said required computer science degree, 5 years of JavaScript, 3 years of React. Okay. I didn't meet any of those requirements. I have no college computer science degree, nothing. All right. I had 3 years of JavaScript, not 5. And I had 1 year in React, not 3. I applied for the job. They did the phone interview. I passed that. I did the technical interview. That went well. I showed them my portfolio, walked them through my code, did some coding challenges and all that jazz. And they hired me. I was a good fit for their team. So ignore, in most cases, unless they're looking for a senior or a lead role, just apply to the job. Don't worry about that junior bull crap. It doesn't matter. Just apply. All right. What else do we have? Let's see. Okay. I am a Shopify dev from 2 years in India. Does Shopify have scope in future? I mean, it does. Yeah, a lot of companies use Shopify for sure. My personal opinion on Shopify is a very limited kind of realm of things. There's only so many people that use Shopify in their websites. What about using Stripe or that's the only other one that I can think of for e-commerce, or like PayPal checkout. But Shopify is great for managing all the products, right? That's one way of doing it, okay? But you're kind of stuck in the sphere of things and limitations to what Shopify can do. Whereas if you went and you learned some regular, traditional web development skills like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, learn a language or a UI library like React, there's so many jobs and you can build 100% custom solutions. All right. So instead of just like an e-commerce store website, you can start building software, which has a much higher price tag on it. Okay. So for an example, I did freelance work for over a year. Websites that I built, just like regular little websites for a client, I on average charge, $2,000. And I was able to knock those out in about a week, and I closed a couple a month. So that was cool. But the big money, I landed this client who needed a pretty robust piece of software built. This client paid out just over $100,000 in 9 months, over the course of like 9 months. All right, because they needed software, a custom solution, and that's where the money is. All right, it was a fantastic project, paid out really, really well. So, but yes, there is a future for Shopify, but I would encourage you to branch out and learn other things, right? Put more tools in your toolbox. Your virtue so. Okay. Hey, Jason, would DevSlopes be looking at game dev in the near future? It's possible. We don't have anything on the immediate radar as far as game development goes. We have some game development courses, I think, that are still up on, they might still be on Udemy, but we don't make content for Udemy anymore. We do academies because like only 5% of people finish a Udemy course, and our goal is to make people successful. So that's why we have the DevSlopes Academy, to give you mentorship, career prep, all that stuff you need to make money. Smart Control Lab request to be in your live video. No. Who else has questions here? Okay, Salim Harad. Hello, Jason. I took the DevSlopes Web Dev Udemy course. It's awesome. I co-instructed that. I hope you liked it. Is it enough if I want to become a web developer? P.S. I'm a computer science grad, but specialized in another field. What is your advice? So that Udemy course, it's a full stack course. It's a fantastic introduction to everything you need to be successful in web development, right? Because we go over HTML, CSS, SAS. SAS is one of the most widely adopted preprocessor CSS libraries. Okay, SAS is huge. We cover JavaScript, React, Mongo, Express. We do full stack, and you learn Git, which you need on any job for version control and doing NPM packages and all that jazz. So yes, it is, but development, learning to code is a lifelong journey. It's a journey. You can't just take that course and say, all right, I know it. No, there's more that goes into it. So I've been coding for like 6 years. I am still learning brand new things about programming almost every single week. I am working on things and coming up with solutions that I've never had to solve before at previous jobs or previous freelance projects. I'm always learning and studying new technologies and how to be more proficient with the code that I write. So yes, that web course is a great start. Okay. You're going to want to keep building projects to build your portfolio and to solidify some of that experience and hands-on experience and such. Okay. So, Salem, if you also want to, check out the DevSlopes Academy, if you want to take your skills to the next step and work with me personally, and then also I'll help you with career prep and all of that stuff, go to devslopes.com/apply and ask questions about the Web Academy. It's all brand new content. It is nothing that is in that Udemy web course. It's all brand new, fresh, recorded stuff. And I'm there, so we can chat and code and all that fun stuff. Is Vue good after taking a JavaScript course? Yeah, Vue's awesome. I really like the Vue programming language. It's a front-end technology for UI DOM manipulation. It's great. Here's the thing about Vue. It's great if you're freelancing, and if you're looking for employment, you might find a few startups using Vue. Okay, Vue has not been widely adopted in the industry by other companies. Okay, so you're going to want to learn React if you're looking to actually land a job. But again, Vue is great for freelance work, or some startups are using Vue. But it's a cool language. I like it. It's got a cool syntax to it. All right, you didn't answer my question, Ben Yusuf. I don't know if I answered it. I can't scroll up. There's too many questions. We've got 6 minutes. I hope I answered your question. Let's see. Is C++ harder to start with than Python? Absolutely, 100%. C++ is harder to start with than like any programming language out there, unless you're doing like assembly code, like assembly line or whatever it's called. C++ has an insanely steep learning curve, okay? An insanely steep learning curve. I do not recommend it for beginners. Yes, it has a broad general use, but C++ is used for software that needs to be insanely high performant, okay? So like AAA games, you've got Call of Duty that needs to make split-second decisions on the fly, all right? And it also needs to be as small of a file size as possible so you can download it on your gaming console. All right, so that's why C++ is a great choice. It's insanely fast, and it's a compiled programming language. Now, for almost everything else, like if you're doing web development, mobile development, or cross-platform, whatever, C++ is insane overkill. I mean, think about this. You're building like Call of Duty and Blizzard games like World of Warcraft with C++. Really intense, like crazy complicated, like behind the scenes games. Are you going to build a Flappy Birds game with C++? Does it really need that type of performance? Absolutely not. It's a waste of time. You'll write 3 times the code. It's 10 times harder than picking something else. So no, don't learn C++. It's a fantastic programming language, okay? Great for embedded systems, robotics, robots to Mars, AAA games, things like that, things that need insanely high performance. But for 90% of other software development out there, it's overkill and it's unnecessary. Python, on the other hand, it's a great choice for beginners. It has a clean syntax to it. It's relatively like easier to pick up on. It has a general broad purpose, great for, you can use it for web development. It's a scripting language, running automations, AI, machine learning, and games, okay? So you have to decide first what it is you want to do with programming, and then that will determine what kind of learning path you're going to take, what technology you'll learn. All right, that is the Instagram questions. We have 3 minutes. YouTube, I'm going to come circle back and let's do some love here. Let's see, Devanish Joshi. Okay. I wish to get into AI and machine learning. How do you recommend I get started with it? Python. Python is the #1 language for our AI and machine learning. I'm a web developer, but still struggling on learning a new language, how to improve. Repetition. That's really what it takes. Programming is a journey. It's not something that you can nail in 6 months, okay? It's a journey, a lifelong journey. Like JavaScript alone will take you anywhere from 3 to 9 months just to learn JavaScript, to become proficient in it, okay? And then after that, pick up I would dive into React after that, okay? And then when you're ready to go full stack, Express, Mongo, and Node. But it just takes repetition. You can do coding challenges. So DevSlopes actually has a 30-day code challenge that will help push your skills to the next level. And you get a mentor during those 30 days, a one-on-one coach that you can ask questions to, and you'll have live weekly meetups. So go to 30daycodechallenge.com and then enroll in the next 30-day challenge. We have it for Swift and for JavaScript. Again, that's 30daycodechallenge.com. All right, this is DevSlopes 30-day coding challenge. People love it. All right, so go check that out. What else do we have here? We've got 2 minutes. I'll answer a few questions. Do you guys work with people outside the USA? I speak English, but I'm from South America. Absolutely. We've got students from all over the world. So like our weekly meetups, I have a live weekly meetup every Saturday. They are recorded, but sometimes people, overseas, it's a different time zone, so they can't join the live meetup, but they are recorded. So you can go back and view them anytime to see what was talked about. We talk about code, freelancing jobs, techs, skateboarding, whatever comes up. So yeah, devslopes.com/apply. And all my students that are overseas, we still communicate. Like, you have questions, like I'll get to them. So reach out to me. All right. Chris Thomas says, I can vouch for DevSlopes. Thank you, Chris. I am a lifetime backer from long ago and now run my own software company. Dude, Chris, congratulations. That is awesome. And thank you so much for supporting DevSlopes since the beginning, from the start. That's super awesome. Thank you. But yeah, so Chris, he loves DevSlopes, and he's been a part of it for a long time. And now he runs his own software company. So that's incredible. How much would it be to join the DevSlopes Academy? We've got so many different pricing options. Just go to devslopes.com/apply, get set up with a call, and the career Coach will go over all of that with you. All right. Webcam HD is sending lots of love, kisses, and weird emojis. I'm going to take 2 more questions, then we're going to end this. It's top of the hour. Who am I? I'm a medical student from Asian country, and I want to learn programming. What should I learn first for apps and full stack developer? Are you talking mobile apps or like web apps? So if you're going to do mobile apps, you need to make a decision. Like if you have an iPhone, do iOS. You're going to learn Swift. If you have an Android phone, you're going to learn Android. You're going to learn Kotlin. All right. And then you can move into a full stack technology like Mongo Express and Node, or you can use Firebase. There's a lot of different backend technologies you can use for mobile apps, and those same backend technologies can be used for web apps. If you're looking for web apps, you're going to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you'll dive into React. I have a big problem at understanding new topics, especially with JavaScript. I started learning in 2013. Still now can't feel able to build projects. Actually, I suffered at not understanding any tips. I'm learning Ruby now, by the way. So I don't know how to pronounce your name, but that is a fantastic comment. Thank you for mentioning that. I wouldn't switch gears and learn Ruby if you're still not understanding JavaScript. It's you don't want to take on too many languages at once. I don't know what your goal is to do with programming, but there is way more opportunity in freelance and landing jobs knowing JavaScript than there is Ruby on Rails. Okay, it's a great language. It's just I don't know what your goal is, but JavaScript has way bigger opportunity in the job market and freelance work. And so, but I understand what you're going through. I'm a self-taught developer. Learning to code, I did it on my own. It sucked. Like it was hard. I wanted to quit so many times and I questioned my life if I even made the right decision wanting to learn how to code and do a career change. But I'm so grateful that I did it. It sounds like you need some guidance and direction, and it's very common to get lost and not have a clear learning path when you're trying to do this on your own, right? Because there's so much information out there. There's hundreds of YouTube videos. There's hundreds of Udemy courses, hundreds of websites that give you an introduction to basic programming. But if you want a guided learning path, accountability, building real world projects, a personal coach and mentor, and someone who will career coach you on doing freelance work or getting a job, I'll work with you, right? Go to devslopes.com/apply and check out our academies, and you'll have, personal mentorship through it. And we'll put you on a very, very specific path to teach you the skills that you need to be successful. All right. That's all the questions I can answer. We're past the top of the hour. So everybody, thank you so much for joining. Again, I'm Jason. I'm a full stack developer here at DevSlopes. I also help students learn how to code in our DevSlopes Web Academy. If you want a mentor and want to be successful in programming faster, then go to devslopes.com/apply. Check out our academies. And then if you want to push your programming skills to the next level, DevSlopes has a 30-day coding challenge. Go to 30daycodechallenge.com and enroll for the next challenge that's coming up. The next one starts in a couple of weeks. We just started the most recent challenge on the 1st. All right, so go get enrolled in that. Until next time, I will see you same time tomorrow. Stay safe, stay positive, and keep coding. Adios.